Some names are more than just names. They're like cultural tuning forks. You say them and they just vibrate with all these stories and all this art. And when it comes to names that echo through time, well, Ophelia's is one of the absolute loudest.
And yeah, Taylor Swift is just the latest in this really long, fascinating line of artists who've tapped into this story. We're talking the band, Natalie Merchant, the Lumineers. They're all reaching back to the same incredibly powerful source. So, let's get into it. We're going to unpack the story of this 400-year-old character to figure out exactly why her name is all over our modern playlists, from indie folk right up to blockbuster pop.
To really get it, we have to go back to the beginning, the source, William Shakespeare's play Hamlet. Now, Ophelia isn't the main character, not by a long shot, but her story is one of the most powerful and lasting parts of the entire play.
Okay, so this is the crucial point right here. From the get-go, Ophelia is defined by who she is to the powerful men around her. She's Polonius's daughter, and she's Prince Hamlet's beloved. And being stuck right in the middle of all that, well, it puts her in a completely impossible situation.
And this is the central conflict for her, right? On one side, you've got obedience. Do what your father and the king tell you. That's the safe, expected role for her. But on the other side is honesty, being true to what she feels for Hamlet. In the corrupt court of Denmark, though, that path it's incredibly dangerous.
Later in the play, after her father is killed by Hamlet, Ophelia seems to lose her mind. But if you look closer, she starts speaking in the language of flowers, handing them out to everyone in the court. This isn't just random madness, it's coded language. It is the only way she can speak the brutal truth in a court that has done everything it can to silence her voice. And this ambiguity is so important. We never actually see her die. We only hear about it described by the queen. Was it an accident? Was it a choice? Shakespeare never tells us, and that open question, it forces us, the audience, to ask who's really responsible for what happened to her. It shifts the focus from her supposed weakness to the very real damage caused by the system that completely broke her. So what happens next is fascinating. Ophelia's story starts to escape the pages of the play. She becomes this powerful, standalone visual icon, and that journey from the stage into the art world totally transformed how we see her. Just look at this timeline. It shows her incredible cultural endurance. We're talking over 400 years where each new era has reinterpreted her. She goes from a character in a play to the subject of famous paintings, then into film, and now, right into our headphones as this go-to lyrical symbol. But there was a pushback against that beautiful, tragic image you see in the paintings. Critics and other artists started to argue that making her tragedy seem, decorative, just a pretty girl floating in a river, it actually stripped away her agency. It completely ignored the real politics of her story. So, how does all of this history actually show up in the music we listen to today? Well, the answer is, in a lot of really different ways. Let's take a look at 4 songs that each hear a totally unique part of Ophelia's echo. Okay, first up, the band. Musically, their song Ophelia is a party. It has this joyful New Orleans-style groove. But the lyrics, they're all about someone who has just vanished, leaving behind this ache and this mystery. That contrast between the sound and the story makes her absence feel even sharper. Then you have Natalie Merchant, who completely flips the script. Instead of one tragic girl, her song gives us a whole cast of Ophelias. One's a nun, one's an outlaw, another's a performer. In doing this, she gives back the voice, the complexity, and the choice that the original play really denied her. With the Lumineers, the name Ophelia becomes a metaphor for a feeling that is so intense it's almost dangerous. It could be about love or it could be about fame, but it's like a flood that you could just get swept away in. It sounds sweet, but there's this real unease to it, almost like a warning. And that brings us right up to today with Taylor Swift. She closes the distance entirely by singing from Ophelia's own point of view. She uses all the classic imagery, the flowers, the water, but the danger isn't just a broken heart anymore. It's the very modern danger of being constantly watched and interpreted until you feel like you might just disappear.
When you lay it all out like this, the pattern becomes so clear. The name Ophelia becomes this incredible tool to explore 4 totally different themes: absence, agency, overwhelming love, and public pressure. Each artist is hearing a different part of that exact same centuries-old echo.
So that brings us to the big question, right? Why this name?
Out of all the characters in all of literature, why does her story still stick with us so deeply after 400 years?
I think, ultimately, Ophelia has become a mirror. Artists reach for her name when they need a symbol that can hold both beauty and danger in the very same breath. She reflects these timeless feelings that we all still grapple with, like being talked over, wrestling with mental strain, or feeling pulled between love and duty.
You might hear her name in a new song tomorrow, or maybe see it referenced in a movie. And when you do, that's the echo at work. It just proves that some stories never really end. They just find new voices, new stages, and new truths to tell. The question is, what will they say next?